Welcome to Journey On the Podcast, episode number 2. Are you on a journey with Jesus? Are you curious what does that even mean? I'll tell you what, you're in the right place. So join me today as we explore faith, as we explore life, and anything and everything in between. So let's get started. Well, our special guest today is my lovely bride, Shelly Ferguson. It's good to have you this morning.
It's good to be here.
Well, I tell you what, this is our first ever podcast recording, and just to be completely transparent, the nerves are here, all those kind of things. Maybe we do have some notes. Both of us have some notes, and so if we glance down, that kind of thing. That's we're trying to please the Lord in what we're doing, but at the same time, we want to act like we know what we're doing.
What we're talking about.
And here's the truth. We don't know what we're doing, so so that's kind of it's all good. But I'm blessed that you're here, and grateful to thank you for being part of this ministry and allowing God to work with us through this situation, and we're growing as people, and so that's here we go. Right, so this is episode 2, as I mentioned, and kind of what I'd like to do initially from the first part of this is kind of just share myself just for a brief moment, how we met and how we kind of got here, and try to do that in a short version because I know this is a short podcast, but in a nutshell, we've been married for. Actually, this will air, I believe, on our anniversary, I believe, which will be 31 years.
31, yep.
Whew. Yeah. And so, I heard once upon a time a guy say that, hey, someone that has an experience is not subject to someone that has an opinion. Well, the truth is, we've had some experience.
Oh gosh, yes.
Over the course of that time, and we're not going to discuss all of that today because we certainly don't have time for all that. But what we do have is we have a definition that we want to talk about, and a phrase that we want to talk about, and then also we want to just share just a few moments of highlights of why that's important to us, and what's more importantly, why it's important to you, and to us on our journey. So basically, just a little over 31 years ago, we were introduced by my dad, actually. So she was at a church where my parents went. I was at a different church. Short version is he calls it, hey, would you be interested in meeting this gal? I immediately said, no, I don't. That's while I love my dad and all that, that was not one thing that I was interested in discussing specifically and or going down that road. So fast forward about 3 weeks, he calls back and says, "Hey, are you interested?" And I said, "What the heck? If I don't like her, I don't have to see her." So I know that sounds very immature probably at this juncture. But that's what happened. So we set up for a date night. We did that, and here's the crazy part of that. The crazy part of that is 3 days later, after we went on a blind date, we got engaged.
We did. Yes.
But
I do have to say that the first time you came to the house to pick me up, you didn't know who you were looking for.
Right.
And I will never forget your face when I came around the corner, and it was a look I will never forget. But it was a good look. It was a good look.
Well, truth was, I didn't know who I was looking for, and I'll just say this: I was grateful, and it was all good. Fast forward 3 months later, so 3 days later we were engaged. 3 months later we were married.
Saying I do.
We said I do. 31 years later. We've raised 6 children, 2 by birth, 4 by adoption, and now we have about 8 grandkids, roughly,
yes.
To my knowledge. And I say that because I am getting older, but but we are excited. We are excited about the journey, and there's been a lot of crazy, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of things I don't really want to relive again. But there's things that. But here's the great part. The great part is I know that
Yes.
I would always choose you,
No.
and that's what
I would do it again. I
and
would
that's
say
and that's
yes.
what I know. So
This is why this topic is very important, is for what we've been through
right,
and the foundation that we've created
mhm,
through Christ,
right,
and because of Him, we are able to have a common faith and
Right.
be able to have that unity
Right.
that is important
Yeah.
for a marriage,
Mhm.
to make things work.
absolutely.
And, yeah.
Because it's been a lot of crazy, and but it's been a journey.
It has.
It's been a journey. So speaking of all that, and you've already alluded to that topic. The topic today is common faith, And so I just want to. I'm going to read. So I am going to look down just for a minute. But the definition of common faith refers to a shared fundamental belief and spiritual trust held equally by a community of believers, especially in Christianity, emphasizing unity in core doctrines such as Christ's divinity, His death, His resurrection, and a collective reliance upon God. And so it's about some foundational truths, bringing believers into equal partnership in salvation rather than differentiating beliefs.
Mhm.
So we can be very different people, and we are
Yes.
very, very different people. However, we are under this umbrella of Christ and belief. So all that to set up and say, and for my first question for you today is, when I say the phrase common faith, why is that important to you, and what does that mean to you?
Well, because we've been married 31 years, I think we've made this foundation, like we said before, that which has caused us to have this unity and deeper connection
Mhm.
through Christ.
Right.
And that's important to me personally because I need this head that God created under Christ,
Right.
under God, to shepherd me as a wife and to help me on my walk journey when I need extra encouragement or just anything that I might need as a person, as a wife, as a mother, as a child of God, that He has entrusted you with this job
Mhm.
of husbandship, and as my shepherd, as a husband, to have this common faith, which that is very, very important. Otherwise, I feel like it would not work. There would be a
Yeah.
lot of chaos.
Yeah. Well, we all know life is hard, and I know that there's multiple things in life that can cause strain,
Yes.
that can cause stress, and ultimately can cause division.
Mhm.
One of the, and we're not going to talk about the other 3 or 4 today, but one of the main ones, and that I believe is important, I believe that you do as well, is this faith.
Mhm.
And what does that mean? So you put back a lot of comments as it relates to, hey, I need a partner. I need somebody that's that's willing
Yeah.
to give some guidance and do those kind. The
Mhm.
truth is, I can't provide that without being in a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
And in turn, I can't be the person that you need me to be in totality. And it's
Oh,
and
no. Yeah.
I can't be that person without that relation with Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. And if we're both looking at different if we're both looking at different faith or no faith at all, then because of the belief structure and those things that kind of all intertangle together, it's hard to walk that journey in unity together if we're not in like faith. Not that it has to be perfectly the same, or that every I is dotted exactly the same or T is crossed exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because we're different people and we have different thoughts on different
Yes.
different topics. However, that core common situation, is very, very important that we do that together.
Yes.
So that's great. So if that's what it means to you, then we're going to step into the next question, which is this: why is common faith important on your journey? This is all about journey.
Mm-hmm.
So 31 years is a journey, and we're not done. Thank you, Jesus. We're not finished. And
We're still breathing.
We're still kicking. We might have a few scars and those type of things, but why is having common faith important on the journey? I know you said kind of what it means to you a little bit, but kind of elaborate a little bit on that. Why is that important to you?
Oh man, I think it deepens our intimacy as a couple, having that common faith
Mm-hmm.
because of Christ as our foundation.
Right.
That we could, as we worship together,
Mm-hmm.
as we pray together,
Right.
as we serve each other,
Mm-hmm.
and just do life together.
Right.
That's important to have that common ground, not that everything has to be, I'm not going to agree with everything because I'm my own individual and I will stand before God myself, not with you,
No.
but with myself.
We want to make that clear.
Yes.
She's a child of God first, and my husband's my husband. She's not my husband. That shows the nerves right there. She is my spouse, my bride. I'm the husband. She's the wife.
Yeah.
We're not confused about that.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
Oh no.
But she does stand before God on her own.
Yeah. So having that common faith, just to know that, and it's not fair for you if I was to rely on you for everything, and because there's so many things that I need that I can only get from God and
Yes.
God alone.
Right.
So, which I have learned because I have depended on you for certain things that I felt like put stress on you, because I wasn't looking to the true source,
Right.
which is Christ, and knowing that everything that I need, strength, peace, all of that can only come from God and God alone, and not from you. Although we can create the atmosphere
Yes.
in our home to be peaceful, true peace, inner peace only comes from Christ. And I think that common faith, common ground, common foundation is truly, truly important. And that's why I think you have to really search that out when you're dating before you get married. Talk about all these topics, because
3 days.
It's
3 days before. Talk about all that. Just get it.
We had a lot to talk about.
Yes, we did.
Oh man, yeah. So it's very important to have Christ as your foundation. Period.
Yeah, and I like to say on at this point as well. You talked about as we were dating, and of course we know that was very short lived. And just for the record, I don't suggest that for the majority, and I don't suggest that for my own kids necessarily. However, here's what is important, and here's what I'm so grateful that at minimum we had a foundation of common faith.
Yes.
And if we didn't have that, the chances of being here 31 years later is pretty slim. Pretty slim. Also, as we are creating this environment, you talked about in the home about creating peace in the home, and obviously we raised six children, and which we're grateful for every one of them, and we are. But here's the difference. If there were two separate objectives as it comes spiritually speaking, I believe it's the conflict and the things that they could see. And truth is, they're on their own journey, and they have to make up their own minds what they believe, what they don't believe. However, with that foundation, we have to create that environment, and I believe that it's important that we do that in unity. Therefore, they're at least getting a similar, straight situation in which they can at the end of the day, have their own decision and make up their own mind
Yeah.
with Jesus Christ. So I believe that's very, very important. And so let's step real quick and look at, well, what have you done on your side? What have you done on your journey to ensure that common faith is applicable in your journey?
Communication is one,
Right.
where you and I have conversations regarding questions I might have about the
Right.
word, about scripture,
Mhm.
or just everyday life.
Mhm.
I know we talk about money. You
Right.
you listen to Dave Ramsey a lot, and so it's been, I think, your stability and the foundation that you came in to our marriage was very key, because I didn't have that
Mhm.
growing up. I didn't have any of that. Although I did go to church, and
Sure.
I did love God so
Yes.
much, and
Yes,
have the
you have.
faith, and so much that I've learned with having that relationship to grow.
Right.
I think having that, that common faith
Right.
of just the communication
Mhm.
is key
Right.
within marriage, and
Mhm.
continue to talk
Right.
about whether it's disagreements or whether it's,
Mhm.
what do you think about this topic?
Right.
It's very important to not just go into the relationship blindly,
Right.
because, you might find out after you say I do that,
Right.
yeah, you're two different people that
Right.
don't have any commonality at all,
Right.
which will, like the house built upon the rock
Right.
versus the sand.
Yeah.
It'll eventually crumble
Sure.
if it's not built on some sort of stability,
Right.
rock foundation.
We talked about that in the last episode with me and Darren, and we talked about foundation and why that's important. And here's what I want people to understand as well, is we understand that you may or may not be, number one, on a journey with Jesus. Number two, you may already be in a marriage and you have two very different belief structures. Whether that's, I believe in something, or I believe in absolutely nothing. The great part is
There's hope.
There's hope, and you can start afresh and anew today. And so what I would like to do is share 3 key aspects of common faith, and then we're going to close out. So these three common aspects, key aspects. Number 1 is a shared objective of belief. It's a faith in the same person, in our case, Jesus Christ, and the same core message, which we call the gospel, which is the good news of resurrection and redemption. So that's number 1. It's that shared objective of belief, and that's common faith. Number 2 is a unity and fellowship. We've talked about that unity a little bit. It unites diverse people. We're different people, but we are under one spiritual umbrella. So although we are very different people, and yes, she is responsible for her own walk with Jesus Christ. I am responsible for my own walk with Jesus Christ. However, when you do that together, there's a unity and there's a peace that comes in that. Number 3, beyond mere intellect. So it's not just a knowledge at that point. It involves a deep personal trust and action, not just an agreement, an intellectual agreement, but that leads to a shared life and a shared purpose. And so I'm grateful that we can walk in shared purpose, not because we're perfect, because the Lord knows that we have all sorts of imperfections, and we have had bumps and bruises and all those kind of things. We made stupid decisions, and we made good decisions, and the best decision is that of Jesus Christ and walking together. So Proverbs 18:22, it says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord." And I'm thankful that I received favor from the Lord with you. And so I'm grateful and thankful that you're here and just share just a few moments. Probably not the last time you'll ever see you here, but we'd sure like to ask you to like, to subscribe, and then to share with all your friends. And so the little nuggets that we feel like God is placing upon us, that we can share those. But I want you to remind you of this as we leave. Life is a journey, but it's always better with Jesus in it. So blessings, and we will see you the next time.